Guys, welcome to my channel, All Things Militia, where I discuss a lot about what's going on in the political world, but also topics that pertain to everyday life in general. If you are subscribed to my channel, as always, thank you guys for your support. I appreciate you. Don't forget, if you see a video that you like, hit that thumbs up button for your girl. Leave a comment down below because I want to get your thoughts on the topics I'm discussing. Share the video, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. You can do all those things, and don't forget to subscribe. So you guys, wanted to come on here again tonight and talk about politicians and the black church. I just did a video about the Democrat Party and how they, for a long time, have pandered to the black community and come to the black church around election time to get their vote, although they have not given anything to that community that has been effectively beneficial. But I wanted to come on here and talk about President Trump and his relationship with the black church. Now, what's interesting is that when President Trump first announced that he was going to run for president back in 2015, everybody's opinion and attitude changed about this man. I mean, I never saw so many hateful people regarding this man. They spake like passionately hateful about him. It's almost as if you would have thought he did something personally to them. But the mainstream bought and paid for liberal media was in full effect to run this negative narrative that he was a racist, okay? Although prior to him becoming a politician, he was loved by the black community. He was admired for his business success and for his status being a boss. He was mentioned in a lot of rap songs. He was in a lot of movies. He was in a lot of television sitcoms. And then when he became president, they started doing stuff like editing him out of the movie, like Home Alone, and targeting him. It was just crazy, you guys, how these people targeted him. And to this day, still have targeted him. I mean, they're not as, as they were his first term, but they still targeted him. Or target him, I should say. So it's just crazy. But I wanted to talk about President Trump because a lot of people were like, he's not a man of God. He's a demon. He's not being used by God. But I beg to differ. God uses the good as well as the evil for his own purpose. And both of us have played both. All of us, I should say, have played both roles, good and evil. So I want to just share a little bit of President Trump for those that like to really talk about how he's a demon and everything, meanwhile supporting a party that promotes a lot of anti-Christ policies.
Many of you have never read them and don't know the liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being threatened to lose those rights. It's happening all the time. It's a very sad thing that's going on in our country, but we're going to get it turned around. Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country, and I truly...
And it's interesting that a demon would say that. Demons would never admit that Christianity is what's missing, or God is what's missing from this country, okay? And that's evident when you see the state of the world that we are now living in, where there's so much violence, so much corruption, so much greed, so much, just everything bad is kind of, escalated here. And a lot of it is because we have become more and more of a godless society. And so you have President Trump actually acknowledging that. Let's continue.
I believe that we need to bring them back, and we have to bring them back fast. I think it's one of the biggest problems we have. That's why our country is going haywire.
Exactly.
We've lost religion in our country. All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book.
Mine's too.
This Bible is a reminder that the biggest thing we have to bring back America and to make America great again is our religion. Religion is so important. It's so missing, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong, just like our country is going to come back strong. In the end, we do not answer to bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven.
Yes.
Christians are under siege.
That is a big statement. We do not answer to man over God. Okay, we answer to a God that is the King of Kings, that is the Lord of Lords, the one that sets kings up and the one that takes kings down. That's who we answer to. Okay, and a lot of these politicians and rulers have been in office for so long that they have forgotten that they've actually forgotten that they're not God. They believe that they are God. Okay, they actually, these people believe that they are God. And God has to, like he always do, let people know you are just but dust. You are just but flesh. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust is where we're all returning.
We must protect content that is pro-God.
Yes.
We love God, and we have to protect anything that is pro-God.
Yes.
We must defend God in the public square and not allow the media or the left-wing groups to silence, censor, or discriminate against us. We have to bring Christianity back into our lives and back into what will be again a great nation.
Yes.
Our founding fathers did a tremendous thing when they built America on Judeo-Christian values. Now that foundation is under attack, perhaps as never before. What can we do? Stand up, speak out, and pray that God will bless America again.
Yes.
I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again.
Yes, sir. We must make America pray again. And the only way that America will be made great again is if God is brought back. Okay, they took prayer out of the classrooms. They tried to take God out of everything. Tried to take God out of church. Okay, now you have like a concert or entertainment building that people go to every Sunday. Okay, trying to actually dumb down the population with all of this distraction, technologies, all of the stuff that they have going on, you guys. And the main thing, like President Trump said, is that it's lacking, because we have enough of all of the distractions. But the main thing that is lacking is God. Once you have God, no matter what's going on, you can get through it. Okay, but a nation that was supposedly, and we know the history of this country. If you've done research, you know that it didn't come about under the best circumstances, especially for Black Americans and certain, other ethnic groups of people. But the main thing that is so great about this country is that it allows for people to practice their religion, and not radical religions, okay, not religions that tell you to go kill people and do stuff, okay, but practice what you believe in as far as that will promote peace, I should say. So we are very blessed to live in a country like that. And we don't realize that, because a lot of us over here are fornicators, adulterers, bastards, we're liars, thieves, gamblers. A lot of us have went against what's in that good book. And if we were doing the things that we do over here, over there, overseas, where Christianity is under siege, many of us will be non-existent right now. So it's good that we have, the right to practice a religion that favors forgiveness, where we have the opportunity to repent, and do our first works again. But I want to go into another clip of President Trump. And, a lot of people wanted to say he was a racist. He ain't no God-fearing man and all of this and that stuff. But let's go into another clip of him. Let me see. Did I get it mixed up? Let's go here. This is where I'm trying to go, you guys. Sorry, I'm still learning how to use the computer. This is when he spake at a black church. The sound is about to come in. Here it is. I don't know, whoever recorded it left that part out.
Well, I just wrote this the other day, knowing I'd be here, and I mean it from the heart. And I'd like to just read it, and I think you'll understand it maybe better than I do in certain ways. For centuries, the African American church has been the conscience of our country. So true.
Wow, what a racist.
It's from the pews and pulpits and Christian teachings of black churches all across this land that the civil rights movement lifted up its soul and lifted up the soul of our nation. It's from these pews that our nation has been inspired toward a better moral character,
Yep.
a deeper concern for mankind,
Right.
and spirit of charity and unity that binds us all together, and we are bound together, and I see that today. This has been an amazing day for me.
Wait a minute.
The African
I noticed
Amer-
something about this. Trump is speaking at a church, and he's not bashing his political opponents. You know, Democrats can't help but to go to church only to talk about Trump. Okay, I even at Jesse Jackson's funeral, they were up there not even reverencing the man that died. They had to all make mention of Trump. But here Trump is at church talking about church-related things.
American faith community has been one of God's greatest gifts to America
Yes.
and to its people. There is perhaps no action our leaders can take that would do more to heal our country and support our people than to provide a greater platform to the black churches and churchgoers. You do right every day by your community and your families. You raise children in the light of God. I will always support your church, always, and defend
that's
your
some
right to
racist
worship.
for you, supporting black people.
So important. I am here today to listen to your message.
That's my kind of
And I
racist.
hope my presence here will also help your voice to reach new audiences in our country. And many of these audiences desperately need your spirit and your thought.
Amen.
I tell you that.
Amen.
Christian faith is not the past, but the present and the future. Make it stronger. We'll make it stronger.
Amen, Mr. President. Amen. Christian faith is not the past, but it is the present and the future. Powerful statement from the racist Antichrist, they like to call him. At any rate, you guys, I wanted to show you a clip of this that I found on X, where a black church, let me see if I can take this screen up a little bit. Was shared by a guy named Joel Berry under X, and it says the black church in America is in shambles. Beyond the fact that most of them are run by race-grifting arms of the Democrat National Convention, you know, the Democrat Party, millions of souls are being led astray by these wolves. And that's exactly what they are, wolves in sheep clothing. They come out and talk noble and try to act like they're for morality, you know, being moral and having character and quoting scriptures at Jesse Jackson's funeral, but have not done anything for the same people that they claim to care about. So millions of souls are being led astray by these wolves. We need to pray for the revival in the Black American church. And I would say we need to pray for the revival in church, period. Okay, but it is, you know, interesting that the Black American church has been used for years by Democrats right around election time to push agendas, to keep us stuck on that good old plantation. And look at this sign, New Era Baptist Church, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Wow, what a contradiction. But here it says, warning African Americans, a vote for Trump will put black folks back to picking cotton. You see that, you guys? A vote for Trump will have anybody picked some cotton? Have anyone picked cotton? I haven't. Let me put my hand down because I haven't picked no cotton. I picked up a Q-tip and a cotton ball, but I've never picked cotton before. Okay, and that's what they were telling us that was going to happen if we voted for Trump. Not realizing that Trump had already been in office before for 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, and I don't recall any of us being in chains or picking cotton then either, huh? And remember when they tried to come out with that 2025 agenda, you know, trying to say that Trump is going to be racist and they're going to try to turn it back to, you know, the times where it was racism and stuff. These people, and they are the main ones that have been behind racist policies, the Democrat Party. So it's like these people are demonic. They try to switch things around. Okay, they want to make something evil that's good and try to put themselves in a good light when they're not. And they have used their bought and paid for media for years to do this. But now, thank God, we have social media that's able to show us the truth. Okay, things that we would have never known or seen if we only had to depend on the bought and paid for owned media by the left, okay? And a few people at the top, them little tiny hat people, they say, that own all of our communications that have been pretty much over what we receive as far as information. So wanted to go on and along, you guys, and share this clip of Nancy Pelosi. You know, she's a former Speaker of the House who tore up President Trump's State of the Union speech, you know, when they were trying to say Trump had the temperament of a child. But she got upset during his State of the Union speech, I think because she believed he didn't shake her hand or something like that, and tore up the speech on live television. No respect, no etiquette at all. And was also reportedly involved with insider trading. And this is what she had to say about religion and the president.
I don't know if the president understands about prayer or people who do pray, but we do
Pray to who?
For the United States of America. I pray for him. I pray for President Bush, still President Obama.
Let me just make this clear. Just because people are saying that they pray don't mean that they're praying to the one and true living God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There are several gods, little g's, that people worship nowadays. And so when they say pray, that they pray, it's not to be mistaken that they pray to him. And ye shall know them by their fruits. Continue.
Because it's a heavy responsibility. And I pray hard for him because he's so off the track.
Really?
Of our Constitution, our values.
He's off the track of our Constitution. She's saying Trump, she prays hard for him because he's so far off track of the Constitution and our values. But he's the only president that really promoted free speech while they were busy censoring conservative voices when Biden was in office. He was the president that was protecting our Second Amendment rights, the right to defend ourselves in case we got to pop on one of them. He was the president that really did a lot as far as promoting Christianity, giving people freedoms, did not mandate a new vaccine, did not put a person in a presidential candidate position that did without, a primary. So it seemed like a lot of things that these people try to describe or label Trump as being, they themselves actually are.
Our country, the air our children breathe, the water they drink, and the rest. He really needs our prayers. So he can say whatever he wants.
Not your prayers.
He can say whatever he wants, but I do pray for him, and I do so sincerely and without anguish, gently, just the way I pray for everybody else.
Yeah, a bunch of I call BS, you guys. I really call BS on this woman. She has been in political office for decades
Taxes
herself.
was chasing
I'm sorry. Let me stop that.
Not taxes.
She's been in political office for decades herself. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Didn't realize I didn't stop it. But like I was saying, she's been in political office for decades herself, grifting off of the American taxpayer dollars. Okay, these people had a major issue when Trump came in because they could not get him to conform to their establishment. Okay, he was going against the establishment, and so they used their media, they used their bought and paid for Hollywood actors and actresses, they used their music industry puppets. They used everything that they could, even down to trying to assassinate this man. They weaponized the Department of Justice and the FBI to go after this man. They tried to take his name off the ballot while they're trying to talk about how he goes against values in their Constitution. They tried to take a man off of a ballot, tried to take what the American people wanted off of the ballot because he did not fit their agenda. Okay, took him off of social media while he was a sitting president. And they always try to do it under the guise of, oh, he's a bad man. He's a dictator. He's a Hitler. But then look at what these people did. They mandated a new vaccine that hadn't stood trial and error. Mandated it, okay, up on the public. Gave pharmaceutical companies zero liability, meaning that if anyone was injured after taking this vaccine, they couldn't sue. That was wicked. Wicked, you guys. And then when Obama was in office, he made it mandatory for us to purchase insurance or we would be dealt with a fine. Meanwhile, these people were giving illegal immigrants free health care. And not to mention, or not to fail to mention, when they left that border wide open the entire 4 years that corrupt senile president was in office, Biden, Yeah, they left the border wide open before the pandemic ended. And they did not require for any of those illegal immigrants that came in to be vaccinated. But they were so concerned about public safety and our health. Okay, stand 6 feet apart. You can't graduate. You can't go visit your people in a nursing home. Many people died alone. You can't have Thanksgiving dinner. But they were allowing millions upon millions of people to come into this country, and they did not get the vaccine. Wicked people, wicked. Like preachers say, wicked, 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 wicked. At any rate, I want to go here, you guys, and see what President Trump had to say after Nancy Pelosi stated that she prays for him. This was at the a prayer convention. Trump is acquitted. You know how they tried to impeach him multiple times under false information?
As everybody knows, my family, our great country, and your president have been put through a terrible ordeal by some very dishonest and corrupt people.
And demonic people.
They have done everything possible to destroy us, and by so doing, very badly hurt our nation.
And that's the thing, you guys. They hate this man so much that they'll be willing to see this nation burn to the ground. Okay? Burn to the ground than to see him lead. And presidents only get 2 terms. And a lot of these politicians have been in political office for 30, 40 years, grifting off of our tax dollars. Maxine Waters, old as heck, should have been retired. Why is she still in office? Chuck Schumer, why are they still in office? Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, why are they still in office? Because they've been getting so many kickbacks and so many benefits, and they put their kids in positions too to get paid for no real skill, only because of their office. So they practically die while they're in office. Okay, and it's just crazy that a lot of these same people try to target this man.
They know what they are doing is wrong, but they put themselves far ahead of our great country. Weeks ago and again yesterday, courageous Republican politicians and leaders had the wisdom, fortitude, and strength to do what everyone knows was right. I don't like people who use their faith as justification for doing what they know is wrong.
I don't either, Mr. President.
Nor do I like people who say, I pray for you, when they know that that's not so.
And he was speaking directly to that thing right there, the 5th person on the sitting down there, Nancy Pelosi. Okay, that's exactly who he was speaking to. You want to claim that you pray for him, but you spent so much time in the media talking about him like a dog. Okay, talking about him like a dog. But then you pray for him? Yo, their hypocrisy knows no bounds. Okay, it was just crazy. But I'm going to leave it off on this note, you guys. And this is a Minister Louis Farrakhan, a Nation of Islam, a guy that they would say was, pro-black, pushing for the black agenda. Look what he had to say about President Trump.
The nature of this administration is good for us. Because of Trump's way, he is an anomaly. There's never been no president quite like Mr. Trump. There's something that he's doing. Trump is destroying every enemy that was an enemy of our rise. Who's the enemy of our rise? Is it the Department of Justice, where we get none? Is it Congress, where you make a law that favors us and then you turn around and destroy it? Is it the media that has destroyed every black leader that stood up for us?
Yeah.
Martin Luther King suffered it. Malcolm suffered it. He's attacking the media, calls it fake news. We have been the victims of some fake news.
Yes, especially the stereotype.
FBI. Go at it, baby. Yeah. They've been beating the hell out of us ever since J. Edgar Hoover and the nature
So
of...
you guys, you heard what Minister Farrakhan had to say, and this is a guy that grew up before the civil rights movement, that was a very popular voice in the Black community, and that tried to work to push a lot of beneficial Black causes. This is what he had to say about President Trump. He was pretty much saying how President Trump was going after the very institutions that have gone after us specifically as a people. And I would moreover say how the Democrats particularly use these institutions to work against Black people. He mentioned the Department of Justice. You know that the Democrats were behind that 1994 crime bill that incarcerated mass numbers of African American men. Okay, this came after the civil rights when they flooded the Black community with drugs. Okay, we don't have ships. We didn't have means to go and get drugs from overseas, but they brought it into our communities and then turned around and announced the war on drugs. Okay, and this was both parties, I would say. Moreover, both parties were complicit in this, but for the most part, the Democrats was the ringleader. Okay, brought drugs into the community, then announced war on drugs, and then had that 94 crime bill where Biden, Hillary, all of them were a part of signing into law that caused many Black households to become fatherless because they mass incarcerated us, gave us like extreme sentences for the most minor offenses. It's still people now, and I believe, probably sitting in jail for smoking weed, although weed has been made legal in a lot of states. Was given like years for selling weed or smoking weed, although it's legal in certain states. Okay, and it's just crazy. They use these people like Kamala did, using them, keeping them in prison longer than their sentences to get cheaper labor out of them. And then, you know, when you have a felony on your record, you come out, you can't vote, you can't own a gun legally, you can't find a decent job or find a decent place to live. So what do you have to do? And this was all systematically done by this Confederate Civil War losing demonic party, the Democrats. And then he also talked about how Congress would make a law and then turn around and take it from us, like I've just made mention, how they gave Black folks the right to vote back in the 60s. I think 1965, Black people were given the right to vote in this country. But then right after they gave them the right to vote, they turned around, like I said, with this mass incarceration. Now all of a sudden you're a felon, so you don't have the right to vote anymore. Okay? And it was crazy. And they manipulated the Black woman into believing that they were for us by giving welfare, okay, telling her that she could not have the man in her home if she was going to receive welfare. So yeah, this was systematically done, you guys. It's no getting around that. And so you see a lot of single parents, grandmothers or single mothers raising children nowadays. And that's the reason why the state of our community is in shambles, or has been in shambles. Because you have to, or you need, I should say, a man figure in the house. You need two parents in the house to give that balance. Two functional parents, I should say. And then he talked about the media, how the media has been used primarily against us as a Black race. And I would say this, I have had so many debates with my own people that are my similar shade about this in trying to defend President Trump, because when I saw how the media targeted this man and still to this day targets this man nonstop. Okay, you're not giving any fair coverage. When he debated in presidential debates, he had to debate against the moderators as well. They wanted to fact check him on everything, but didn't do the same for their party. Okay, was cutting him off if he got too real, had to try to cut him off. If he was getting applause by the audience, tried to keep the audience quiet, but when the other side was getting applauded, they didn't have anything to say. Okay, the media has been used so much to our detriment, you guys. They would always put the most ignorant, ratchet Black people on television. Okay, don't want to promote educated Black people. Don't want to promote people that are modest and that, you know, have wisdom and stuff, but they will promote twerking, and they will promote gun violence and gun toting and gang violence. That's what they put out in the forefront for us. We're not in charge of media. We don't own these record labels. We don't own the media. But this is what they allow to pass. You have to talk. I remember hearing artists saying how they would come in with good ideas and bright ideas, and how they could, you know, be a positive influence on the culture and everything, but then they were told after like a song or two, okay, you got to put that to the side. If you want this record deal, we gonna need you to get to talking about some shoot 'em up, bang bang, okay, and twerk that thing in order to get this money. And many of them never had experienced six figures, okay? Many of them never had experienced a lifestyle, although a lot of them were screwed over contractually. But many of them had never experienced that, so they were willing to just forfeit doing it just to be able to provide for their families. But this was pushed primarily in the Black community. Degradation, over-sexualization, violence, okay? And they made it to be cool, to appear like it's cool to the youth. So you bring up the youth believing that it's cool to kill and rob and gangbang and twerk and have unprotected sex. And then you usher them into your prisons and you usher them into your abortion clinics. And they want to say this wasn't systematically done, primarily by this wicked party, the Democrats. But I will say both are complicit. I'm not going to say both of them are not, but specifically by that Civil War losing Confederate party that's now turned into a communist, godless party. So that's all I'm going to say on that, you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Hope you have a great night, and I will see you later.